Good morning, everybody. Welcome to P&M and the AM. I'm Mike Loro, and of course, my trusty sidekick, Pat Bernard. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, everybody. What's going on here? Listen, how do I want to start the morning? But first of all, I got to start it because we don't have our man Al with us today, but we do have a legend in the house. We got our man Tom Kelly. Tom, good morning, sir.
Good morning, boys.
Tom,
TK in the house.
3 hours of talking smack yesterday. I'm still trying to get my voice.
yeah, TK is here. Now, listen, sir. I got to say, job well done yesterday on the 5-year anniversary show of the Past Nine Fanatics.
Thank you.
I am blessed to be part of the family.
Yeah, I just got one question. I didn't get an invite.
Yeah, because no one likes you.
I know. I'm starting to really believe that. No, but honestly, though, I feel I just want to apologize because now you guys got to see what I have to deal with every Sunday.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, we were dealing with Pat 4 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, but he was probably a lot more
He
tamer then.
was tamer then.
Yeah,
But
he's nuts now.
He had there was hints of the psychopath that sits
Ugh.
before me now.
Yes.
Yes, and you had him and Joe Marks. So I mean, them two at the same table, which I thought was hysterical towards the end of your show. By the way, Tommy, great job yesterday.
Thank you.
This dude,
Appreciate that.
Tom is a magician. If you go back and watch yesterday's show, and also to our boys over at the Patterson Fanatic, congratulations on 5 years.
Yeah.
Thanks,
A
man.
generation more, man, for you guys.
Tom's hands were always busy yesterday. They were always on something. But
Pat,
coffee.
coffee rule. You already know the coffee's not halfway done yet. Before no Rockets red glare, hands going anywhere.
Sorry.
Can we just stick? Focus.
I'll try. There goes the supervisor.
Yeah, the better half.
Yes. Good morning, Jamie. So listen, again, I know we like to tease each other on the network and all that stuff, but honestly, everybody does a fine job here. Everyone who gets behind the mic, this is a busy network. So if someone's not behind there talking, someone's writing an article, someone's doing something here. We're always keeping busy here. So I know, like, again, we've been in the past. Last week we were joking with Past Nav were breaking our chops, calling us the PMS show.
That was
pretty funny.
I was on call for work last week, so the crew ran the show.
I gotta give the Hammer his due. That was pretty clever. Bastard him.
Someone gave him that.
I tend to curb. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dave.
I tend to curb any of the comments going at other people's shows if I'm here. But
Yes.
they,
Yeah.
Listen, we don't mind it. We don't mind it. So, listen, you got two former professional wrestlers. Well, I'm sorry, one former professional wrestler. That's my boy Stevie. He's checking in from Massachusetts. You remember our boy
what's up,
Steve?
Steve?
Yeah,
that is a phenomenal.
The Boston
name.
Strangler.
I had to do a double take when I said
Yes,
that name.
it is an awesome name, and you know what? He's every bit of that dude. And listen, you think we're hard on our coaches? You should hear those guys with Belichick. It's a treat.
Well,
but Pat,
yeah. You actually got me a little started here because look, we had a great.
we had a mouthful last night.
Oh, we did have a mouthful, and I love having my mouth full.
Pat,
But sorry. But listen,
you're gonna make TK walk out of here in a minute. We're doing this show by ourselves.
you know what? I like touching, doing things. Okay.
Paper.
Okay, sorry. So anyway,
Jesus
what I was trying to say is that we had a lot of sports yesterday. A nice Flyers win. We'll touch on that a little later. We had a Sixers win. We'll touch on that. But we had the NFL playoffs last night, and great games. We started out with the Seattle Seahawks versus the Niners. And things gonna look a little suspect on the Niners' behalf.
I want to interject on something. These people that are out there saying that the 49ers are the best team in the NFC obviously have not watched who they played. Yes. Do they have a good defense? Yes. But what people tend to forget is the Eagles got a really good offensive line. And what I saw yesterday was just they beat up on a team that was in their division, which, by the way, Seattle was in that game.
Yes, sir.
They pulled away. Like it was kind of like Kyle Shanahan went in the back and just,
pep talk.
Yeah, you kind of like, you guys really losing to this team right now? And then they came out and they laid it on them. Gino turned the ball over, and it kind of snowballed away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I do not fear this 49ers team. I think the Eagles can run the ball down their throat.
You don't fear Brock Purdy, as Paul Heyman came out yesterday before the game started.
No. I mean, he's playing well. He's making good decisions with the ball.
Right.
But then again, too, I'm going to reiterate, the 49ers ain't seen a defense like the Eagles either.
No,
absolutely not.
they haven't
So-
seen, and they haven't seen an O-line like us either. So
That's what I'm saying. Like people, like I think they really got to pump their brakes on this whole. To me, it's been like a flavor of the month. If you go back and look at it throughout the whole year, it's really been a flavor of the month. The Eagles. The reason I feel like, and it may be just me, I felt like that they talked about the Eagles because the Eagles were undefeated and they had to. I don't think they. To me, it wasn't a feeling they wanted to talk because it's always somebody else. You listen to the talking heads on any of the major networks. Like Nick Wright is the biggest goof I've ever heard in my life. Again,
in my opinion, the national media hates to talk about most of our teams, and they have to because of the market that we're in. Where our market is
the fifth biggest market.
the fifth biggest market in the country. But as far as sports go, we're probably 1, 2, maybe 3.
And they know if you talk about Philly sports, they know immediately there's going to be a reaction.
That too.
Immediately.
That too.
So, but what I want to allude to, like I said, great game there. You had Dougie P making an incredible comeback. Those Jaguars were dead in the water.
27 to nothing.
3 turnovers.
Four in the first half
from Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And again, Dougie P doing magic. But my question to you guys this morning is this. I saw on Twitter, and especially with the Joe Sullivan, I saw him really, excited for Dougie P. So my question to you guys, we have, players, coaches, GMs that leave here that we still support. Why is that? And if my 2-part question is, if you have a top 5, who are those guys that we support? Like you look to me again, like you said, Dougie P, left here. But people really still support this guy, and he's got an AFC team. He's not, obviously not wearing the same colors as us, but
our boy Wayne Miller checking in. What's up, Wayne?
What's up, Wayne? He says, "Morning, guys. How about Daddy Doug and Dougie?" Yeah. So again, this is what I want to talk about. And Mike, I'll go to you. What is about some of these guys who leave here that we can still find ourselves supporting?
Okay, this really comes from, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little older than you. We had teams that were bad, but we had good players, okay? Right. And the players would endear themselves to this city, okay? Then they would leave, and then they would find success somewhere else. And it's always, like, that was the biggest knack on Philadelphia for the longest time was, hey, you can go there and play and become a great player, but then, you're going to win your championship somewhere else, whether it be mainly because of ownership groups that we had in the city. The only one I won't say that with is with the Flyers because Ed wouldn't care. Ed would try to buy a Stanley Cup. He did it for 40 years.
Right.
So, but I'll give you an instance. Like, this guy was beloved, and people still continued to love him. This dude got standing ovations every time he came back, after his tenure with the Phillies was over, which was Von Hayes.
Love Von Hayes.
Right. Von Hayes would come back. I remember one time, I think he was with the Giants. He was on the bench. He was a bench player towards the end of his career. They brought him out for a pitch hit, and dude, on a Sunday afternoon, Old Veterans Stadium, probably 50,000 people, all stood up and gave him a standing ovation. This is probably like 3 years after he stopped playing.
He's one of my favorite Phillies.
Yeah, same here. I don't feel like he gets enough love. No, that is yes, and Dave, she is right. He is undefeated on Saturdays in high school, college, and now in the NFL on Saturday nights.
Mr. Saturday Night, but go ahead.
But no, to me, that's why you see, a lot of Philly fans that will, if they fall in love with a player. Look at Allen Iverson.
Correct.
That's another one I'm going to bring up. Iverson left when he came back, and he did it right. I don't care. Like, people kill Iverson in this town, for not bringing it. But I'll tell you what, when he came back, dude, I was at that game. I watched him go to center court and kiss the logo while he was a member of the Denver Nuggets.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, to me, guys like him, I'm trying to think who else.
Because for
Steve Carlton.
Yeah, look, Andy Reid. When Andy won that Super Bowl,
a lot of people here were happy.
Now, I think if we didn't win the Super Bowl prior, there would have been a lot less people that would have been cheering for him. But I was rooting for him big time. Guys like that. Guys like the Flyers from the 70s, they'd be drinking at Rexy's with the fans over in Jersey.
Right.
There's two kinds of guys that endear yourself to here. Guys that are like us and guys that work hard. If you're one of those two guys, you'll never buy a beer in the city.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'll tell you,
they-
Nick Foles will never have to buy
Are
another
you
beer here.
kidding me?
right.
I'd
Same
lay,
thing with
I'd
chicken.
lay down in a puddle and let Nick Foles walk
Yeah.
over. Nick
And
Foles
then,
walk
you know,
over my
he's
back.
he's a great point because he doesn't have success anywhere else besides here. But yet we find ourselves rooting for him. He's a likable guy. What's up, Anthony?
What's up, Anthony?
And he goes, "Hey guys." So, yeah, to me, it's like him. Even a few years back, more than a few years back, when we first left, when Peter Laviolette was fired after 3 games in back in 2011 or 2012 season,
I'm so pissed.
he went on to have great success with the Nashville Predators. He took them to a cup, and I was one of those guys. Find myself rooting
Because Lavi was a guy that we
Lo-
Loved a lot.
we could, because Lavi was one of those guys that if you weren't playing, he'd say, "Get off your ass and go play. Let's go." You know, we need
Go
some
play
jam.
with- We need some jam.
Hey, we need some jump here. Let's go.
But I mean, here's the thing. But I got something to say about last night's game, and then we'll get back to this. Brandon Staley will be fired today. If he is not fired today, there's another job opening right there. So you know what? And this kind of scares me because Steichen came from the Chargers, and they didn't want him to go.
Right.
So
There's already Sean Payton rumors to the Chargers.
Wow.
there's yeah. Is there any other biggest overrated coach than Sean Payton? Like, stop. I'm tired of all his press too. He ain't no better than Mike McCarthy.
Right.
Wow.
He may end up. He
I'm
may
being
end up
serious.
taking over for McCarthy in Dallas, though.
I don't think so.
No.
No, I think Dan Quinn gets that. I think Dan Quinn will become that head coach because Dan Quinn's right there and the players love him. I could see Dan Quinn becoming their head coach before Sean Payton. Sean Payton's so overrated. I'm tired of hearing about that. Wade
Yeah,
Mills
it
says
was
Chase Utley,
Chase Utley was one of those guys.
Jimmy Rollins.
Jimmy Rollins. Even when Ryan Howard came back, it
Yeah,
was,
that was weird seeing him in a Braves uniform.
Yeah,
Remember that?
and
I
it
remember
was,
scratching my head going, "Man, this don't look right."
right. And you brought up a fine point. Iverson. I mean, again, I want to see him do something, have great success with Melo back in 06. I mean, there's been, like I said, there's been guys, who've left here.
For the Flyers.
But and speaking of Flyers, it's funny as long the guy has done tender here for the Flyers, no one went and had no reaction to Drew.
No, they did.
They did.
So?
But I'll
They
tell you
did.
what.
Rod Brindamore was the toughest flyer I've ever seen in a different jersey.
Yeah.
To me personally,
I
I love Brindamore.
I did too, but I love what we got back for him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? We got Keith Primo back for him. And I
wasn't-
love Rob Brindamore, but let's keep it a bean. He'll tell you, Rob Brindamore and Jacob Voracek, those two are the human Zambonis. Those guys sucked up more ice than any Zamboni I've ever seen. Rob Brindamore could be on a breakaway with nobody around him, and he's falling.
Yeah.
All the time.
Maybe
But
if he
you-
tucked the other side of his shirt and he'd it on a little bit.
Yeah, he was always lopsided. Same thing with Voracek. But I'll tell you, who I felt got one of the biggest welcome backs that I had ever seen was Tiemann.
Oh, yeah.
When he came back.
Yeah.
When he came back, like literally 20,000 plus down there was just chanting Timo.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony, did you guys see Herbert's and the other players' faces by the middle of the third?
I don't think they quit, man. Jacksonville got on a roll, man. Like, you got to give you were down 27-0 in that game.
Right, yeah, no
27
business.
They had no business coming back in that game. Which, by the way, I was a Travis Etienne
And I
touchdown
gotta
away
give-
from a great parlay.
Yeah,
but
and I gotta give Travis Lawrence credit. I mean, 4 picks. You think in your mind you're quit. You've quit after that.
and you know what? And,
and
he
he-
continued to
And he said,
Talk about on to the next one and forgetting the immediate past. That
Yeah,
was a
and
huge case of that.
and he was in the press conference, and he said, Dougie P was, pretty much Dougie P. I'm paraphrasing. Dougie P was in his ear. He kept him in the fight, and this is what a good quarterback coach does. He talks his guys up. He still keeps those guys motivated. And for this kid to come back and get that big W, and
It's
like
a
you said,
signature win for them.
if you're a Chargers fan this morning,
Brandon
how do
Staley's
you sleep?
Dude, Brandon Staley, if I'm the Chargers ownership, like I'm telling Brandon Staley in the locker room, dude, you're paying for your own flight back to Los Angeles.
yeah, Dave's saying Bosa was pissed off last night.
Well, you know what?
Saw that.
Bosa's stupid because
Yeah.
you know what? All right, yeah, the guy moved. If you look at it on instant replay, it looks like the guy moves early. But if you watch it in regular time, the guy is timed with the snap.
Right.
Okay? No, Bosa just got his ass handed to him yesterday. That's another thing, too. Both Bosa brothers. You ever notice with them? They go up against physical tackles, they disappear.
Yep.
So that's why I'm
That's another reason Lane Johnson
Johnson.
back if they
Yeah.
end up playing the Niners.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Oh, everybody, listen, I love it. All the other fan bases are like, well, is Lane going to play? How's he going to? I'm like, dude, he's back practicing.
Did you
already.
see
Did you see his promo?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
Instagram was
Oh,
crazy.
man.
Yeah.
I was ready to run through a wall.
Yeah, my man kicked the door
He
down
said
pretty much with the
WWE
belt on.
WWE Gold title. Comes
Yeah.
to me. I was
He's
like, oh.
wow, comes to South.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, yeah. The NFL playoffs come through South Philly. WWE Gold
Yeah.
title comes
Hey,
to
well,
me.
you got. Well, listen, I wouldn't be surprised because WrestleMania is in Philly this year.
Oh, he's going to be there.
So
dude.
you know
You
he's
kidding
going to be
me?
there because they're actually in
Not
contract
next
talks to-
year.
After he retires, I'm hearing more things of him possibly, getting
Going
a
there.
WWE contract. That would be phenomenal.
I think, yeah, dude, he would be like Austin
That
3.0.
that would re-spark my interest in the WWE.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. You
If
had
he
the-
comes out with green tights, whew, and rocking the birds, so
Dude.
you all right? You all right? I'm just
That was
saying.
borderline. That one was borderline.
I'm just saying.
Finish your coffee.
Hey, what's
so,
in that
so
coffee?
Pat can
I don't
talk
know, but
about
I'm going to have
man
to
meat.
start spiking it and bringing an Irish coffee in here to deal with you. My God.
Gotcha.
But no, overall, yesterday, what I took away from yesterday's games is that you don't count out Doug Peterson, no matter what the score is. And I give credit to Mike Caldwell too. Mike Caldwell and that Jacksonville defense they were nasty
Yeah.
in the second half. They want hunting, and Chargers didn't have the answer. Chargers stopped running the ball too. You have Austin Eckler back there, you got to run the ball. And the Chargers throw their screen game is probably second to none. They
Right.
stopped throwing screens. They just got pass happy yesterday.
Dave Yard also says Lane Johnson versus the Tribal Chief for the strap. I like it, Dave. Come on.
Oh, here we go. We just lost 12 viewers.
Wow. How do the Chargers have a good record and choke every year? I
Because
did,
of Brandon Staley. The players win in spite of him.
but like you said, you said it best. No, Brandon, you're not getting on this chart, please.
Yeah.
I'll take
Like,
over.
if I'm the owner of Alex Spence, I'd be literally at the game going, dude, you're paying your own way back to Los Santos. Don't even get near my team. I'm sorry. Like, if you're a Chargers fan this morning, and I got a buddy of mine who lives in Jersey, diehard Chargers fan, I feel for him. John, if you're watching, buddy, I feel for you. Lane versus the Saudis. Oh, wow. Woo! I think that's all work, too, about WWE.
Yeah.
So I think that's Vince
Yeah.
getting back, but that's a whole
Another
top-
shit.
another
That's
story.
for Steel Steps podcast talk. But yeah, so like I said, we look at yesterday's games.
What did you take away from both of the games?
Like you said, at first I took away this is a divisional, to me, two divisional opponents. And I felt at the last minute, I'm like, I have a feeling that the Seattle Seahawks were going to win it. I put it on Twitter, and it
Oh,
almost
so
came to
you were the
fruition.
mush. So as soon as
Yeah,
you put
so-
that on there, they
They choked it
Yeah.
up. But
put the bed.
But again, it is what it is. Seattle Seahawks gave them their best punch, and then reality came to fruition for them. But then, like I said, I said to myself, I'm not going to count out the Jacksonville Jaguars. I said there's still 4 quarters to go, and people already said, I had people text me, this game's crap. I'm not going to watch the rest of it. So I said, this is Dougie P we're talking about.
Listen, I was prepping, getting ready for doing the Clear the Ice last night, and I was sitting there watching, and I literally looked up, and Matty B goes, "Oh yeah, by the way," he's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Jacksonville just pulled in within 2 scores,"
Yeah.
and he goes, "No way." I was like, he goes, "It was 27-0." I was like, "Yeah," at halftime. I was like, "Dude," I was like, "I got a feeling Jacksonville's going to win this game."
Yeah. So I definitely.
No,
No, we're
Rick
good.
needs to stay in his robe and
And
Sure
doing
did.
commercial with Scott Lofton.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, like I said, who else in Tom Kelly? Is there anyone else you have that comes to mind that you think, hey, even though this guy left this town, I find myself very passionate, support this guy. I mean, look at Dave. What's his Dave?
Just look at when
Dave
Dawkins,
Haxtell with the Kraken.
just look at when Dawkins came back to the Broncos. That might be the biggest
Yeah.
example of this. I mean, crying. Like, he never wanted to leave. Reggie White never wanted to leave.
LaShawn McCoy
Yeah.
kissing the field.
And when that shows their human side, that shows their passion for this town. You can't look. You can't.
That's
can't
why
get any
I
better
will-
than that.
That's why I will never. Norman Brayman is just coming to
Oh
your
my God.
I
But
hate
look-
that dude. We forgot one other guy too.
Yeah.
Dick Vermeil.
Oh yeah,
Dick Vermeil, when he took the Rams
Yep.
to that
I was
Super
cheering
Bowl,
for him.
and I'll tell you what, when he was with Kansas City too, I remember when he was coach of Kansas City, just Philadelphia got behind him. I remember people going down to Big Charlie's in South Philly.
Yeah.
And like people like
Charlie's Saloon.
Yep. And I'll never forget it because the guy turned around and he said, he goes, Eagle fans get a lot of bad rap. He goes, but look at this. He goes, if you look at my bar, he goes, it looks like a Christmas tree because he had guys in there that had Eagles jerseys that were in there pulling for the Chiefs and
Yeah.
rooting for the Chiefs because of Vermeil.
I
How
remember
about when-
that Vermeil Super Bowl that he won with the Rams. I used to work at Blockbuster Video. I remember watching that game at work at Blockbuster Video. It's showing my age a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I was drunk at a Super Bowl party somewhere.
Yeah. So how about when Lindros got traded to the Rangers? I mean,
Obviously, you love Lindros. To me,
yeah, obviously. I mean,
No,
he was
dude.
my favorite player growing up.
no, he wasn't mine.
I
He
mean, you
wasn't,
gotta remember,
he wasn't my favorite, but I did have a lot.
Like,
of good
I'm sorry, I
memories.
called him Mr. Potato Head quite a few times. I mean,
Well, don't put your head down, and Kasperitis will knock it off.
no, or Stevens.
Yeah,
Or Stevens. I mean, to me, my guy, I was a Leclerc guy. I
Same.
love John
my
Leclerc.
mother made me wear her jacket. We went to a signing. She wore his jersey, and I had to wear her jacket to get it signed. She loved John Leclerc. My parents have a room in their house completely dedicated to Flyers, and it's Leclerc and Legion of Doom shit everywhere.
Michael Renberg was really cool. We met him outside of Voorhees.
Uh-huh.
Like my buddies.
I never met Reddy. I met Leclerc. I met Lindros. I never
Renberg
met
was
Reddy.
cool. He was cool. You know who else was real cool? And you thought, we had him, but not Chelios. The defenseman we had, Coffee. Paul Coffee was pretty cool too. Yeah,
That
like,
dude's a legend. He played
Yeah.
hockey for 130 years.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, he was cool. He was
Yeah.
cool.
So, but how about some guys who left here who weren't legends? Like you went, see ya, don't come back. I mean,
Oh, Brizgalov.
yeah.
Scott Rowland.
Now, you know what though? I gotta say,
Carson Wentz.
I feel like he gets a bad rap, Roland, because all he did was be like, yo. All he said to the management was, yo, bring some people in around me. Because when he was with the Phillies, let's keep it clear, in 96, 97, that dude had nobody around him in
There
that
you
lineup. He had
go.
guys like Rex Hudler.
Right.
So I mean, I don't get mad at Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland wanted to be a winner, and he got to win his
Yeah,
championship.
but he ran his mouth on his way out
I would have too.
about us, not about the team. That's
You're right. Well,
Yeah, but he
that's not
apologized
good.
for that though.
Eh,
Did you? No, when he came here with the Reds in 09.
I didn't hear any apology.
Really?
No.
Yeah, go back and take a look
I'll
at it.
have to check it out.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool what he had to say. He was like, man, he said, I thought, St. Louis was loud. He goes, I thought Cincinnati was loud. He goes, I never experienced loud like I experienced tonight. He goes, wow. He goes, I take back what he said. He took back what he
I'll
said.
have to check that
Yeah,
out.
it's pretty cool, man. It's somewhere in those archives, but he kind of made peace. He wanted to make peace with the Philly fans, but he was I don't really give him. I kind of give him a pass because, like I said, we had crappy ownership. So
Yeah, like I said,
So who's the number
we-
one culprit? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Yeah.
you off, but who's the number one culprit of that? Simmons, Ben Simmons, you think?
Oh,
More so
yeah.
than Carson?
It's up there between the two because there was I would say so because there was some people who
That guy quit on everyone.
he's
there was
quitting,
there,
he's
right.
quitting on Brooklyn now.
Yeah,
No,
yes.
awesome.
So some people
Your
wanted.
problem.
So some people wanted Simmons. Again, I was one of those guys on the Wentz wagon who didn't want to see the guy leave. I was that guy holding to his bottom left, cleat. JD Drew
He could have
hates
said nut, but he said cleat. So I mean,
Yeah, well, I got you gotta but again, I want to be that guy who proved everyone wrong because I thought he was going to go to to Indianapolis and just be a monster out there.
Hold on, he didn't get a chance though. Let's be honest. He didn't get a fair shake in Indianapolis. That dude is a nutcase. Their owner's a nutcase.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree
come
with
on,
you
he's-
that.
Dude, they brought Jeff Saturday in from ESPN to run the team. Like, come on, who does that? And then he fires him at the end of the year.
Yeah, so right. He's
I think honestly, I think Saturday walked in his office was like, dude, no, I got to go be a coordinator.
even still when he came to Washington, I thought I'm like, we're going to get some of that old Carson Wentz, and no, it didn't turn out to be that way. Like I said, again, I was on that Wentz wagon. A lot of people thought I was on the Wentz wiener, but
yes,
Yeah.
you were,
okay.
you were definitely on that because like what people are failing to realize is with Carson is that they don't have Doug Peterson and Frank Wright calling the plays for him in Washington.
Right.
Now he did have it in Indy, but like I said, he didn't have the pieces there.
Right.
You know what I mean? He had Pittman, who was a rookie wide receiver at the time. You know what I mean? And they were featuring Jonathan Taylor.
Speaking of playoff comebacks, you just mentioned Frank Wright. I remember watching them against the Oilers.
The Oilers, yeah,
That was what, the second
90
biggest comeback, I think.
no, the biggest.
That was the biggest.
That's the biggest.
There's
There's another
Jags
one.
were third, so there's one in between those.
There's
two.
one in between. them.
Patriots in
That-
Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Patriots in Atlanta.
Yeah,
That's
so-
they're the three. But I remember watching that game too.
Yeah.
I remember being at my buddy Don's house. We were sitting down in his basement watching. I remember wild card weekend. We would find somebody's house and we'd order food and we just sat there and chilled all day and
Yeah.
watched football.
Yeah, but Tom, to your point, I think Ben Simmons might be that guy
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah.
You know, you left. Here goes your bags. Here goes your laundry. Don't come back. Don't
and
come.
we don't care about you.
Yeah, it's just stay up in New York. You know, destroy their house. You know, whatever you do, just don't come back to South Philly.
I mercifully went after Joey on our show because he was Ben Simmons, and then Ben just turned in like quit on everybody. And then from then on in, I'm just like, yeah, but like Ben Simmons, right? Ben Simmons.
I just
He was like, all right, I give up.
the crazy part is I remember being at FanFest. I wouldn't say a second. I think his first or second year in, he popped up there, and I was hanging out with Dean Lynham, and she goes, "It's not so and so I wear about." She goes, "That guy right there."
Wow.
She said herself. She goes, "You know, pretty much she already cast off. That's going to be a bad apple for us." And he said, and after the thing, it was like Miss Natter Gargano was saying to him, "Hey, are you happy here? Are you loving here?" He goes, "Yeah, for now." So he already had in the back of his mind that he was already going to be
Dude, listen,
cashed out.
yeah, he wants to be a star. Like to be honest with you, I don't think he's going to be happy unless he's playing basketball in LA.
You want to be a star, you got to work. You got to work to it. You got to work. at it.
Listen, listen. You may think I'm nuts, but watch. He's going to go to the West Coast. He's going to get on one of those LA teams,
Probably.
and all of a sudden you will see a jump shot. You will see he's not scared to take it. He's going to start trying to be like Magic. Like you will definitely see a different side of Ben Simmons because he does not want to be over here. You know what I mean? Like the Sixers controlled where he went.
Yeah, I don't think it gets cold in Australia. It's too cold here on the East Coast.
Yeah,
he
way
needs
too
to go
cold.
over to LA.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, look, I love to further this discussion, but listen, real fast, let's talk some Sixer hoops because the Sixers go out to the Utah Jazz starting their West Coast trip. And what looked to be in the first two quarters, it was going to be a day at the beach. Turned out to be,
Jazz put up a little bit of a fight there, huh?
Jazz came back, and you know they missed most. They don't have a majority of their players. There's no Colin Saxon. There's no Rudy Gay. There's no Kyle Olynyk. You missed the majority of their players, but
Clarkson
you know
went off.
Jordan Clarkson goes off the rails, dropping 38 points. And man, I was just like, you know, where's the adjustment again? Where's Doc? Come on, Doc. Where's the adjustment? But however, you know, with Doc drew up the last play by putting PJ Tucker and Embiid on Carson, it made him drop the ball. So, what's your take on the game, last night's game there, Mike?
My take was that I was not watching that game last
Yeah,
night
I
because
totally
I
agree.
did not know it was on, and I had to do. I was
Sure.
concentrating on the Flyers and the NFL postseason, so I divulged all this information over to you, Pat, because I did not watch it.
Well, I mean, and to Joe Sullivan's point, yeah, the ball, the Beard is playing the elite ball.
Question: how did Embiid? What did he finish it with last night?
He finished with
30.
30 points.
Trade him.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
get the fuck
Here we
outta
go
here.
again.
I'm serious. Yeah,
He
listen,
had 30, Harden had 31.
This
Hold
is
on.
now.
this is the
4 weeks. I got to hear. Now you want to know what I deal with on
Oh,
Sunday
no.
mornings.
Wait,
listen
is
to
this
me.
why the Patterson F fanatics were giving you a hard time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I tried to explain it to them, but obviously they either don't watch the show or they don't listen.
Right.
Because
I don't watch the
Hold on.
show.
Pat, right here, you want to keep talking about Sean Kilray, Mike Mamula, and Rich Kotite is up there.
Yeah.
Definitely. But this is what you guys, Pat, right here, Mr. Sheep. Okay, he's talking about Flyer fans being sheep. This dude is wool wearing sheep. Pat, right here, right? This dude tells me he's an MVP, right?
Yes.
He's an MVP.
Okay.
Now, you can't get draft capital for an MVP caliber
Uh-huh.
right now that you're not going to get. I'm sorry, you're not going to get as much for Joel Embiid next year or the year after, like you guys want to hold on to him for, right? As you can now. This is why I said trade him. Tom, I'm sorry. They're not better than Brooklyn. They're not better than Miami. They're not better than Milwaukee, and they're not better than Boston.
They brought up on our show yesterday.
Oh God.
We had John Crichton on, and he was saying that Embiid is the Embiid effect is almost like the Iverson effect. He's a superstar player, no doubt about it. But for whatever reason, you can't find that combination of guys to put
To play
around
with him.
him to get you over the hump.
Right.
And
That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't agree. I think I wouldn't like to see him go, but I can absolutely understand why you and other people are thinking in those terms. Like, yo, his
Finally,
worth-
somebody who
his-
understands what I'm thinking about.
his
Trying
worth-
to get through that brick wall is the hardest thing in the world.
His worth isn't going to be any higher than it is right now. The guy's dropping 30 points at will. So I don't. That's not my way of thinking, but I understand where you're
But
coming from.
this is what I'm scared about. With Joel Embiid. This guy broke his face twice. Twice. I already told Pat, if they get the playoffs again this year, which they are, go to FanDuel, DraftKings, every place that does legalized betting, and look for a bet for Joel Embiid to break his face this year.
He's looking for a
Place a
hat
bet.
trick.
He's going to score a hat trick this year.
The face breaking hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, Harden's playing good ball.
Yes, I agree with you, Anthony. And I agree. They are playing very, very good ball. And look, they're again, James Harden and Embiid are creating perimeter shooting for these guys. They're getting spacing. They are doing a fine job. Shake Milton has really stepped up his game. Again, you even Marshall Harris, who's coming off the bench and filled in for
Now, see, this is right. I disagree with Joey here.
like you can't
say that because
other teams.
they aren't better than those teams. They need to play together.
I agree with you.
I can sit there and say that because they're above the Sixers right now.
I'm about to post another text on the text board. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead,
here we
whip
go.
it out.
Wow.
That's exactly what I thought to myself when I saw that.
Steve,
You know,
find yourself off my
no.
program.
Listen.
No.
He got a point.
As of right now, he is not incorrect.
He's not incorrect.
McNabb used to put up really big numbers.
And choke in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he doesn't choke.
Dude, stop.
He's got a health problem.
Yeah.
I get that. That's
Yeah,
what
he-
you're concerned with. I
No,
understand.
and he disappears,
He
bro.
does not disappear. He's the only guy.
Your best player last year was Tobias Harris in the playoffs. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you are wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. Do your research, Pat. Look on your little white
yes.
notebook right there.
James Harden disappeared. I will give you that.
So did Joel Embiid.
No.
Bro, he was still sulking he didn't win the MVP. You're full of it.
No,
Your
he was
eyes are
hurt.
down.
He was not on the floor because he was injured. What do you want?
Oh, my God.
He was hurt. He was not
Your
on the
our
floor.
best. Okay. Your best ability is your availability. And he
Okay.
broke his face again.
Before he got into playoffs.
Oh, stop.
He wasn't there.
7'2" big man.
Well, he didn't break his face. Pascal Siakam broke his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to understand this team runs through him. He finds perimeter shooting. I mean,
Toby was the only one that showed up last year for this team in the
Oh,
playoffs.
so what's the problem with Toby?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, you're just an apologist again.
No, I'm not.
Shit, Pat. I'm not trying to hear that.
Yeah, listen. Yeah.
It doesn't matter
I-
where
I
we
think
trade them.
so.
Like you guys
Thank
are so
you, Sean.
they're so
Once
fixated
again,
on.
you're right.
You guys are so fixated on him getting traded to Miami. The Sixers control. You trade him where you get the best value back for him. You guys can't keep talking out of both sides of your mouth. You can't sit there and say he's an MVP candidate.
He is MVP.
But we're not going to get enough back for him. Are you crazy?
You're not. You're
How
not.
do you know?
Because no one, again, the flip side of the coin is because people are afraid of the injury. So this is why they need to stay themselves
Oh,
safe.
stop. No, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
No,
You really are.
I agree to your point to like a 25% because of the injury. But in the same take, you're not going to give up Boardwalk for nothing. I mean,
You are. If he's an MVP talent, Pat, you can get Boardwalk with a couple houses on it and maybe even Park Place, Pat.
But I'm not-
I would need Pacific
Yeah, but I'm not-
Ave
but
and
I'm
those
not-
three and Ventnor and those three.
yes,
It's all
I'm
about
not giving-
value.
I'm not giving up Boardwalk for
If-
nothing.
There's always a deal out there that will make you go. "Oh." If there's
Yeah.
a deal out there,
He's
that-
just
but what team would be willing? You'd have to do like a 3 or 4 team trade in order to get enough back to
Listen,
make it-
I'm not saying the trade's going to be easy,
right.
but don't sit here and tell me he's an MVP candidate and no, we
Aren't
can't
gonna
trade him.
deal
We're not
with
going to get enough back for him. No, you guys are talking out of both sides of your mouth when you talk like that. If he's an MVP candidate, you can get a haul for him. And I'm sorry.
I'm not training a whole for him. He's a generational talent.
Jack Walt, that can't get past the second round.
Yes, that's not his fault. He doesn't have a supporting cast. He's the only
Oh,
guy.
Stop. You don't have a supporting cast.
He doesn't have a supporting
Oh,
cast.
here we go.
Him, D'Anthony
Yeah.
Mellon.
He had Jimmy
Shake
Butler
that-
here, right? That's his boy. That's the one everybody
He
wants
doesn't
to
have
sign
good
here, right?
perimeter shooting.
Had Jimmy Butler here, where did they go? Out in the second
Don't
round.
have good.
Had Ben Simmons
you
out in the second
You
round.
ran into
Harden out in the second round.
you ran into some legit hard heavyweights.
What do you think is going to happen this year?
I understand that. Thank you, Joe.
He's a generational
Generational
talent. Yo,
You'll never
you
wanna-
guys value him way too high, man. Way too
I
high.
don't think you watch enough basketball to say that. You
Yeah, I do. I
know,
do watch enough basketball to know that this dude's going to trip and break his face for the third time.
Jeez, yeah, I mean, according to you, we should just put this man, wrap him up like a mummy, put him in bubble wrap and never. I mean, geez, what's he, a China doll?
Yeah, obviously, because you guys are scared. Oh my God, yeah, we can't trade Embiid. You know what's going to happen with the Sixers? They're going to hold on to Embiid too long, and then nobody's going to want him. And then, we're going to be bad picking ping pong balls.
Or not?
Picking ping pong balls. You guys don't have a draft pick till
And look,
2060.
And look, and yesterday I was the only one at this table saying that they're not going to make it to the Eastern Conference Championship. I said,
Why keep him?
because
Why keep him?
he's got the talent. You still don't move.
So what? The
He
regular
don't
season?
have doesn't have perimeter shooting. There's not good. You guys see what? I don't believe in D'Anthony Mellon. Okay,
The guy averages over 30 a game, and guess what? You guys are nuts.
Jamie said you guys sound like a married couple.
She would know. She
Yeah,
would
I was
deal with
gonna
me.
say, she would
yes,
She would
yes.
understand.
That's an awesome.
You can't
comment.
get
I
rid of
love it.
this guy. I said I defended. I said I just don't see this because you know what?
After Embiid's done, why? Joe, you don't have no picks. You forget.
I don't believe.
Daryl Morey traded all your picks to the Brooklyn Nets from now till 2060.
I don't believe in Doc. That's why I think the team's going to fail.
Me too. That's one area we can agree on.
Wow, we getting something.
Yeah,
That one.
yeah. Clip that. That one's got to get cut. I mean, that's another reason I think the Sixers don't make it is Doc.
Yeah, I will.
And I don't want to hear, they're going to win it despite him. No, they're not. They got 4 teams right now that are better than them in the
When
Eastern
it comes
Conference.
to pressure time, I think Doc's going to choke it. Now, yes, sir, he made a good adjustment by putting Embiid and PJ Tucker on Clarkson at the right clutch time. I will say that was a smart move on that guy's head. But when it comes to dealing with the heavyweights in the NBA and the East,
Yeah, the Sixers come
when
up
you
like
don't have,
they're like you at the Blue Oyster. Okay?
Yeah.
They're up to their neck and
and having a good time.
yeah, they choke. They choke on a fatty just like you do every
Yes.
Saturday.
Down at Woody's.
Look at Lakers, right? They get rid of LeBron. Yeah, I got all that, and that's another thing too, Anthony. Speaking of,
My boy Cincy, I told you all about Doc.
yeah,
he did. He did. Stevie was telling us about him, man.
yeah, and speaking of, we got the L.A. Lakers tonight. The Sixers going to face the L.A. Lakers.
Is that home or is that in L.A.?
That's in L.A. It's the West Coast trip.
Okay.
You gonna watch that game?
Of course.
I'm not. I'm going to bed.
Good night. I'll be in the room with the TV on. Okay. So, but
Oh my God.
so I agree. Doc is more of a problem than any other factor. Yes. Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
That's one thing that, like I said, I agree with that. With you, with Gus, Doc's not making it. This is the ceiling for this team this year, and I'm talking the way the team is constructed now. Now, I'm not saying if they go out and make trades or whatever, way it's constructed now, their high point, their ceiling for this year's Eastern Conference Final. They're not getting to an NBA Final.
No.
They're not. I'm sorry. There's too many teams in the Eastern Conference who are better than the Sixers right now. I don't want to hear about playing games together, this and that. Too bad. Like, I mean, other teams have gone through this too. Boston's going through this. Okay, and they've had the number 1 seed for damn near since the season started.
Now, the only thing I can say when it comes to the playoffs is the playoffs will help this team because of their lack of speed. Because the playoffs, everything
It
goes
slows
half
down.
court.
It slows down.
So PJ Tucker, that will absolutely help him out in the playoffs.
Somebody brought up yesterday on your show, and I don't know who it was. so I don't know who to give credit to. Somebody said they think PJ's saving his legs for the postseason.
That might have been Frank Double F, Frank
Yeah.
Franken.
All right, so if it was Frank, yeah, Frank.
2 games with injuries. Thank you, Joe.
And
This is
Joe,
a
you'll
good
be
team.
crying in May when they don't make it again.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry. You guys are looking at this regular season. I'm sorry. You don't get no Detroit Pistons in the playoffs.
right. I get
Sorry. So, no. Look at their records against the top 4 teams, the teams that are all ahead of them. Look at their record against them.
Right.
And then come back and tell me. Like, I know they beat Milwaukee.
Right. You're still gonna have to see. I feel like they could beat Milwaukee. That's the only.
I
But
think
the
they
Nets,
match up
I
well.
don't know. I mean,
The Nets are I'll tell you right now, too, don't sleep on Cleveland.
Yes,
Cleveland's got a good team, too.
Yes, I will agree that Cleveland is a sleeper.
Okay?
If he
Chicago,
goes
don't
well here
sleep
for the postseason.
postseason. I
that's
agree
all
with that.
matters.
I agree with that. But
And
Okay.
and like I said, you're still again. Here you go, another Boston team playing very, very well, and the Celtics are at the top of the line in the East. They're sitting at the, and that's maybe at some point you're going to have to deal with them. But until then, look, let's look at.
I'm looking at the way that they're just constructed now, Pat. If you're looking at them the way that they're constructed right now, they're probably the 5th or 6th best team in the Eastern Conference, and they
Right.
shouldn't be. They should be like the 3rd best team. But again, Doc is their head coach,
right,
and the schedule of losses.
and listen, again, I thought that OKC game, right, put this coach on notice. The Sixers have a bomb heavy schedule, right? So what Steve's saying here, like pretty much look out for March. So March man is for the Sixers. Boston's the Sixers, tough to match up. We can beat the Bucks, and yeah, I think so too, Joe. So like I said, you focus on this game tonight, 10 o'clock. If you're up, I know I'm a night owl, so I'll be checking in. So you're gonna, old LeBron out there. They're 13th in
Was
the
it
West.
LeBron and
And Westbrook.
Is Westbrook still in that team?
Yeah, Westbrook's still out
I
there.
think he's going to get moved too. Oh, Reed went to the OKC game. That's why they lost.
Right. You had probably the biggest mush I've ever met in my life.
Leaves most of your show, or
No,
Dude, he's just the most period.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the mush.
Listen, we used to bring him on just to get his pick so we could bet the other way.
the other way.
Yo, Mikey Miss used to love his Bush picks because Mikey Miss would agree. Who do you have, John? So I pick the other way.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a certified loser. I mean, I never met a guy who said the Eagles are going to beat Tampa. This is all last year. Tampa wins. Tampa's going to beat.
And everybody knew Tampa was going to win.
Tampa is going to beat the Rams. Rams win. Right? Cincinnati's going to win the Super Bowl. Rams win the Super Bowl.
Dude,
This
he
guy
is-
mushed the whole year as he progressed. And like I said, I never met a loser like him. He's
He
zero.
would get like 1 out of 8.
Dude, every
Yeah.
time Joe Marks bought a jersey of a player, every
It was like the
time
Madden cover.
in less than a month, the guy was off the team. Not hurt, off the team.
Well, he's worse than the Madden cover.
Every single time.
So I should buy Joey
Whatever,
Beach jersey.
yeah, whatever player you want out of here, buy it for now. I don't know if he has to buy it himself or not, but it was the things of legend that
Yeah.
he would come out with a jersey. Oh, great! I really liked him.
Yeah,
Fuck. And I swear, within a month, gone.
I hope the Sixers can make some adjustments from yesterday because the perimeter shooting from them was not good. Like I said, they had Clark. They left Jordan Clarkson open all day.
So wait a minute,
And
yeah,
he's
they have a back-to-back?
What's up,
Yeah,
food?
they have a back-to-back.
What's up, Fuge?
What's up, Fuge? So again, like I said, I hope they make some adjustments because the perimeter shooting was not good. You had, just Jordan Clarkson just going off yesterday, 38 points. Now you're going to see the Lakers. The Lakers haven't played a game since Thursday.
Yes,
they took a tough loss to Dallas. So again, you got to go in their house against an old veteran LeBron and Westbrook. I think the Sixers could still win this game tonight. What's your thoughts? They're 13 seed.
Schedule loss, dude. Second
Is it
game back
schedule
to
loss?
schedule
They're
loss
just going
back
to
to
chill in
back.
LA.
Schedule loss back to back, man.
No, I see the Sixers putting up a fight. I just think
I
that
didn't say
just
not about a fight. I just said it's a scheduled loss. They're going to make it look good.
I think
They're
Montreal
gonna put
Harris
him
is
over.
going to.
They're going to put him over at home.
I think Montreal Harris is going to step up again. He'll fill some void for Joel Embiid. I think Maxey will have a decent game. I think Tobias Harris will have a
Pat, why
a
don't
really
you
good
just
game.
sit there and say the Sixers going to win?
Yeah,
Look,
well,
you're going, this guy's going to have a good game. This guy's going
well,
to
that's the point of the show, to break down X's and O's. I forgot. You know what I mean?
No, just look, Sixers are going to win. They're playing in there. You're gonna
I mean,
you're trying to
I'm
break
sorry.
down something that you ain't even seen yet.
Well, that's not, it's called a prediction.
Yeah, it's called a prediction.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Sixers win. That's your prediction.
Jeez.
I
I
think
think you were doing it for a Wednesday night show or something.
uh,
Oh, jeez. But anyway, it's a tough time. Is there any team in the middle season? Yeah, right. So,
I like how they're easing Maxey back in. I
Yeah.
think I that I will agree with the way that they're easing
Maxey
him
had
back in.
21 last night. He was
Yeah.
looking good.
yeah, so Maxey is looking good. Well, let's talk.
Oh,
Yeah, if
now-
anyone cares about Derrick Rose, it's the Knicks.
You know, I would kick the tires on him.
Yeah, I would too. I would.
He needs the ball in his hands, doesn't he? We already got enough guys on this
Yeah.
team that need the ball in their hands.
If he was, I tell you,
And you want to talk about injuries? Like that
Yeah.
guy's notorious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. He's past the hat trick. You know what I mean? But look, there's another team that's been red hot, that's been catching people's eyes. Some people are happy that they're winning. Matty B. Oh, Matty B, I got a little problem with you, buddy. You came out Tuesday and called me a homer because of all people, I'm not a homer. I'm no sheep. But
Your
you,
name
my
is
friend,
Pat.
you came out and said I was a homer because I like to see this team win. Well, I don't like to see. I don't want to lay down for nobody. Obviously, they're not going to get Bernard, Connor Bernard for where they're at now in the Saints. So you might as well ride the hot hand. You got goalies. You are playing very, very well. Still a little bit of lack of defense in front of them. However, the offensive firepower is very nice. One, Travis Konecny, you still got guys producing like Kevin Hayes. However, it wasn't really the those kind of guys who went off for you yesterday. How about Scott Lofton? 2 games back to backs against this Capitals team and getting power play points. Fifth power play goal of the season for the guy. Just playing very, very well. Just playing the team's being very creative in the offensive zone. JVR found wide open between 2 defenders. Kevin Hayes finding Allison wide open in front of you. They are making some moves, Mike. They are playing very, very good hockey, and they're drawing penalties. They are drawing very good penalties. Zach McCune draws a very good power play penalty off of someone from the Capitals yesterday. Very good. And look, to you idiots out there who came at me this whole week on Facebook. I want to tell you guys something. I don't know anything about hockey. Well, since Sam Arison has showed up to the scene and has challenged this kid, challenged Carter Hart for his job, one Carter Hart has played significantly. He knows someone's breathing down his back for that job, and he knows. So what's he's doing? He's playing look. It's made him a better goaltender. It is what it is.
All right. Number one, pump your brakes. Okay. On Sam the backup. Pump your brakes on him.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, he did. He had a couple nice games. I agree with Matty B. We need a little more sample size from this kid.
All right.
Okay. And listen, is it a bad thing for him to push Carter Hart? No,
it's
not.
a good thing.
It's
I
a good
agree.
thing. Did you watch the game last night? Did you
Yes.
see how good Carter Hart looked last
Yes,
night?
because he's being challenged. That's why he's stepping up his A game.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
No, it's not.
You see,
If you watched the game last night, Pat,
yes.
first thing that caught my mind last night, my first takeaway from the game last night was Flyers defense was on point last night. There was no second chance shots last night.
No, and listen, and I will say he's been playing better. Again, that first game back on Wednesday when it was here, Carhart's eyes was on Ovi the whole time. Something I haven't seen no one done before is keep their eyes on Ovi, but he did. It was very smart of him.
And I'll tell you what, this is where
Even though Ovi got his 30th goal last night, but it is what it is.
okay,
But
it's Alex Ovechkin, dude. Like he scores on everybody.
He's going to get his.
Dude, the Flyers have the best record in the Metro in the last 10 games, and they're
New year, new hockey team.
and they're still second to last in the division.
Right.
Well,
They
they're
got a
6
long way to
They're
go.
6 points away
Six
from the
way.
final. They're from the
9.
final. What's that?
Oh no,
6.
points. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
6
6 points
points.
out.
It's not that far of a stretch.
But here's the thing. Like, I think the reason why the Flyers are playing a little bit better is I think now, one, they had that break. But
Yes.
coming back from that break, too, they also had some practice time. Okay? And I think Tortorella's system is finally, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're finally moving on. Joe Sullivan says right now they pick 9. They almost may as well keep winning. Listen, Connor Bedard. Listen,
Yeah,
you guys.
Torts is a system that you're not going to pick up right away.
Sorry, brother. Oh man, I want to
Yeah.
kick them.
Yeah, see now.
Better than doing other things under the table, I guess.
True. Train rails, off we come.
Yes. Correct the defense. They're not winning. Yeah. So I don't know, man. What do you? I mean, for me, the I don't know.
It's nice to see a JVR sighting. I can finally take him off the back of a milk carton.
Yeah, he finally showed up.
And Wade Allison, listen, the Flyers. I'm going to tell you right now, dude. They should have shut out last night. I mean, they were a Morgan Frost bad pass away from shutting out the Capitals.
Right.
And I'm sorry, to me, the Capitals are a pretty good team. They just took 2 games from them. Like I said, I think that time off with them coming back and practicing, I think they're understanding towards the system a little bit better now. I think they feel more comfortable in their system now. And these young guys are starting to play. I was very impressed with the defense last night. Their defense last night, if somebody took a shot, that puck was out of there quick. Like there was no second chance shots.
And one
the
thing,
Flyers.
and another thing I like about this team is that they're creating turnovers in the neutral zone. They're stripping people from their pucks. I mean, again,
They look like they got a little extra step and a little jump in their step too. Now, granted, come Monday they got a chance. Like Monday reality is a reality
yeah.
check.
Tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m., Bruins, the Flyers earn B-Town taking on.
And the Bruins are 21-3 at home.
They got 14 guys in double-digit points.
I'll tell you what, and they don't bode well for the Flyers too. The Bruins lost last night, so that's their next game.
No, they won yesterday.
So the Flyers are
they did win.
Oh,
They
all
won
right.
late.
B-Town won yesterday. They just, they
Barely, but they won.
Umark is the best goaltender in the game. Dave Pastrnak is the second best goal scorer in the game.
Dude, the heart and soul of that team is Bergeron.
I mean, you and I both
Marchand.
said they got guys on all 4 lines who can score.
Dude,
They're nasty. They are nasty. The Boston Bruins, you got to tip their cats. They're sitting at the top of the mountain, not just in the Metropolitan, not just in the conference, but the overall NHL.
Yeah, they're
the best team in the hockey.
They are the best team in hockey.
And this is going to be, if I know I don't like keep on going down this avenue, but if this ain't your ultimate Rockies Balboa versus Apollo Creed matchup, I don't know what is.
Dude, this is going to be. Well, listen, at least we'll get a better understanding where they stand.
Yeah,
I mean, because if you take a look at the Flyers have played the Bruins tough this year.
yes, they have.
I mean, if you watch, I know we're 0-2 against them, but they're definitely, I say Trey. Steve says I say Trey Proby if he doesn't want to be here. Bump up Cam and Zumala, bring up Guinea or Aditard, Foster, and Brink coming along too as well. Yeah.
And that's like I said. I believe Steve. I've heard the rumors. Proby is on that train block. So
I mean, listen, he's got to go somewhere where he can be. Proby's got to be the guy that's got to bring the puck up. He's an offensive defenseman.
Yes, I've said that many times.
Yeah, he reminds me like of this generation. It's kind of like Brian Leach almost, but not as good numbers. My boy Stevie says, I still don't trust them. I'll wait until April, May.
Wow, and that's
coming from a Boston fan. So, I mean,
the Boston Strangler has spoken. But yeah, like I said, this Boston team. I mean, like I said, Dave Pastrnak, 33 goals. I think he's like 59 points. I mean, the dude's nasty. That whole squad.
And he's like their second line guy. Like their top line still Bergeron, Marchand.
Yeah.
Marchand, man, that dude, he's quicker than a hiccup, man.
Yeah. They won 5 of the last 6 games. So again, they sit at the top of the mountain, and the Flyers are. I'm curious to. Good morning to you, Al.
Morning, Al.
Oh man,
Al must be on vacation today.
Yes,
he's on vacation, enjoying the day. Enjoy, Al.
Enjoy, Al. You deserve it. Happy 40th, brother. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to take away from this team? Like, what's John Tortorella's going to have to do to beat a team like this juggernaut?
The Flyers are going to have to play their game, and Boston knows that they're coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just at the end of the day, I think the Flyers give them a game. I really do. I think they give them a game Monday afternoon. I think they come up a little short. Though. I mean, at the end of the day, cream rises to the top. And
Right.
right now, you look up at the Boston Bruins. They are the best in hockey, and they'll show you Monday that why they're the best in hockey. Now, I don't think the Flyers. I think the Flyers can give them a nice competitive game like they've been. You know, they both times they played them so far this year, they've been tough games. But you know, you can roll out 4 lines, and anybody on those 4 lines can score, and that's not even including their defense. Dude, Charlie McAvoy's a sniper.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
So
the only thing that worries me about this team is what defense is going to show up. There's like I said, Wednesday.
well, I'll tell you what, if the defense just shows up last night,
You got a
goes in there,
shot.
Boston might be in a little bit of trouble. Like they got guys that can score, but if the Flyers defense is kicking it, you know, they're only getting the 1 shot. If Carter Hart's only got to worry about 1 shot,
Right. You
then you're in the game. You're in the
you're
game.
good. You'll be fine. I mean, to me, it's you have like I said, you have to draw. Obviously, you have to do what you've been doing. Bring up your A game, and this defense. Do not be like on Wednesday. You head out for that.
I think the Flyers. I think they lose a close one on Monday. I'm going like
Right.
2.
'Cause you don't just have one guy who could just score. You have 4 lines.
You got
of
4
guys.
lines that can score in Boston. So I mean, the Flyers are going to be up. They need to be up for the challenge defensively.
Do what you've been doing. Stripping people in the neutral zone. Get creative in the offensive zone. You're at the do what you've been doing in the defensive zone. Just play the man-to-man coverage.
They've been beating people to the puck.
Yes,
in that offensive zone. When they're in the offensive zone, they're beating people to the puck.
right.
And if they do that, chances
they're
are
winning battle boards.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're finding guys open from the net. Everything. So it looks Scott
Over and
Lofton.
under, how many times do we hear measuring stick? I'm probably going to go. I'm going to go about 10 times. Lose for Connor, Matty B checking in.
Oh God, Matt, stay on the road. Stay on the road. Keep your eyes on the road. So
I was talking with Matty B last night when we were doing Clear the Ice,
right.
and I was telling him, I was like, there's a couple. Like I understand Bedard. Everybody wants Connor Bedard, and you should.
Yes.
He's a generational talent. There's some kids that were on that. There's some kids on Team USA, and there's some kids that were on Team Canada. There's one kid I looked at, and he's a flyer, man. He is a flyer waiting to be drafted. And this kid named Finelli from Team Canada.
Yeah, you were saying.
Dude, this kid was a beast. He's
Yeah.
throwing the body. I mean, he was throwing the body. He was getting in there. He could score. I'm like, yeah, Bedard is the shiny Maserati, but Fideli to me is kind of like that really hot, souped-up Mustang.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he looked like I looked at him and was like, yeah, he could be a flyer. You know what I mean? And there's some kids from Team USA that you could possibly
I
draft.
got to watch a little Penn State hockey a little bit last night, over the weekend. I got to watch a little Penn State. I got to watch a little Minnesota hockey. So I was taking a look at some of the kids out there. But I mean, like I said, once you're out of that top 3, overall pick, you kind of everyone goes right to the farm system anyway. So
Well, how about the kid that plays for BC, the Flyers draft pick, the one that was scoring goal? What was it, Cutter? Gunther?
Yeah.
Cutter? Gunther? Or yeah, I think I'm saying his name right. Gunther. It's Gunther. I know that.
I have
I don't know if it's first or last name, but it's Gunther. He plays for BC, and they did the Frozen Classic out there in Fenway. After the Winter Classic, they play. I think it's BC versus Boston U, and dude, he had like 2 goals, couple.
Well, that's what you
assists.
need.
They said he's looking really, really good, and so hopefully, like I said, Flyers are a young team. Like you look at the Flyers team, you'd be surprised how young they are.
Right, and that's what I said. They're one of the youngest teams in the league. Again, after November, December, we've counted this team out, and rightfully should. So we looked at the
Doesn't it
overall
seem like
roster.
that though every year? Like,
But I said that every November, December, this team just doesn't just hit a pothole. This thing hits a sinkhole, and the road collapses in all the time. So
Pat would know.
it's not like he's still up. But if Torts can get these guys to the postseason, he's coach of the year.
Yeah, I would say so, considering where they started from. Cutter Gunther.
Thank you, Matt.
I knew it was Gunther.
Yeah,
I was
hockey's all about clog in the middle and power play transition.
Cutter's tearing it up for BC. I knew it. Yeah, man. Like I said, he was. Dude, he's Los Angeles.
All have interest in him.
I would send him to Edmonton. I would do a package deal. And you know what? Me and Matty B were talking off air last
Dude,
night.
this could be actually a win-win for the Flyers if you really think about it. I don't know. I mean, I get it's a little different from football, but if this team could get into the postseason, the way these two goaltenders are playing real hot hockey, let's just say I say a one and done, but even still, good enough where you could package up a deal for Carhart and move down the draft.
Well, here's the thing: you wouldn't need to do that. Like, say Sam the backup plays good,
Yeah.
all right, and he maybe you really Carter does become expendable then. I'm sorry, he's from Edmonton. Me and Matty B were talking about it last night. He's from Edmonton. Put him in a package deal, send it out there. Edmonton's got a strife of young talent.
Well, they don't have no goaltender.
They don't have goaltending.
Right.
Joe Sullivan just said it right there. Edmonton has young talent.
goaltenders.
Dude, you get a boat haul back for him. He gets to go home.
Well,
he gets to go home, play in his hometown.
no,
Edmonton gets that goalie that they needed.
I need Sam Harrison to hang around because I want to prove Matty B wrong. So.
Well, listen, he may not, but even still, like, you know, you should be able to.
No,
we got to get. I think.
For real. Yeah.
Sam the backup's got to make sure, you know.
Yeah,
I call him Sam the backup, so that's just me.
For now, you know what I mean.
He may become Sam the starter at one point.
Sam the starter, you know, after
Pat's petitioning.
Oh,
Pat's
yes.
He's going to come in with 2 S's over his nipples next week.
Or somewhere else. But
no, it would only be a half a S.
well, you know, I mean, I forgot the tram stamp, you know, but anyway,
Anyway,
that's for
can we move on?
That's for pillow talk.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, look, man. Again, the Flyers have a tough matchup heading tomorrow on Martin Luther King Day. 1 o'clock. You know, perfect time to chill and watch, see what this team's really made of, to see what Carhart is really made of. I mean, and this defense.
I'm gonna get the counter starting. It's the measuring stick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the counter started.
So, but guys, before we wrap up the show, let's get a couple of our sponsors here, right here on the Pass Half. And I'm sorry, PM and the AM show.
Thank you for that free plug, Patrick.
Yeah, of course. I'm still hungover from yesterday. I had a lot of laughs.
Jerry's Ticks. You know, if you're like my partner over here and can't, want to get down to the game and you don't have your tickets, go to Sherry's Tickets. They have everything from sports, concerts, theaters, and the price that you see there is the price you're going to get. There's no hidden fees. And if you type in EOP right now, dude, you save 10% off of your tickets. Look, 10% can go real far, man, especially with these Eagle playoff tickets. So,
yeah, and guys, go to Dolan's Bar today. Go get yourself a delicious meal. Go enjoy yourself playoff football all day today, man. 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, Pennsylvania. 19078 is the zip code, guys. Go check them out. Great food, good times. Go hang out there today.
And if you do go there and you get inebriated and you bang up somebody's parked car, you can call our boy David or Jerry. You can call him at 610-565-0300 for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury. That'd be like me taking Pat's head and slamming it into the table, and criminal law.
Also, like taking Pat's head
and slamming it into the table. So if I were to do that, I would need David or Jerry to represent me. So make sure again. And of course, guys, Philly sports trips. The fun is not over, even though we have the calendar up here for the Eagles. They are doing Arizona again for $500 down. It's a refundable down payment. So again, if you guys want to get out there, maybe put it down on the Super Bowl. Hey, you never know, man, with this team.
Yeah, you never know, man. And still, it's not just football games. Again, guys, big game coming up, Sixers, Nets. Only $240. February 11th.
Yeah, they got the Phillies, Yankees,
Phillies,
Coors.
And for you Union fans out there, man, they got trips for the Union. They officially became partners with them. So, guys, everything for everybody here in Philadelphia. Go check them out today. Go sign up. I'm still working on getting the green light from the home foreman, the home supervisor, and I think I'm more than likely going to be on that trip to Brooklyn. See the Sixers and
Philly sports trips. They're even running a trip to Italy with Gargano.
Yeah, how about that? I saw that. So
that's impressive.
So, guys, if you want to go out and see somewhere and go hang out, like I said, what about
Vince and the crew are the best of what they do for sure.
Exactly. EOP's got you taken care of. So, look, go on the trip, get yourself Dave Cherry in case you need it. Scrap with an opposing jersey, opposing team. It's all taken care of. EOP takes care of it. Anyway, guys, Stay tuned later tonight. I don't know if you guys got plans, but for you lacrosse heads, want to talk wings or all lacrosse all the time, check out my guys, all lacrosse all the time at 9 o'clock
Yeah,
tonight.
Muffler Mike, Gary.
Matt Muffler, Mike, Gary, those guys. It's Sean.
Sean,
Yeah, so Sean Slot. Yeah, check out those guys. They do a great job. The guys from up north, man. Give them a jingle. Check them out. That's it.
Later,
You guys
guys.
have a good one.